was evident you were trying to take Sherman and Crawford out for the game. I'll watch you about the offense, but I thought you won the game probably defensively today. And just talk about the job you felt like your guys, for the most part, did on Crawford and Sherman.
Yeah, well, we still gave up 69 points, so that's probably the most that someone has scored on us, maybe all season, if not pretty close to it. So, they're a very good, basketball team, and they're very efficient offensively. They take what you give them, and we were going to stay one-on-one with Luka, and then back up off of their bigs. And obviously, they made some perimeter shots, and he made some things down there. But through all that, we still think at the end of the day, they got to come back through Drew Crawford and John Sherman. So that was our game plan, to stay with him when the ball went in the post, to stay with him, period, and just make it difficult for them to play. Didn't want them to get, even though they end up, going 8 for 17. It just kind of shows you how efficient it is. We didn't want them to shoot threes, and they still go 8 for 17. And so it's just a great system. Tough to defend. I think we were probably a little fortunate tonight. John Sherman was banged up. You could tell from, if you've been around him before, he's got a big time motor, and it just didn't seem like it was quite there. And especially when he put it on the deck. I thought our guys got into it and did a good job. He just didn't quite have that pop. So I thought we did a good job. I think there's room for improvement there defensively, to get better. And I thought Northwestern did a good job of going away from some things and being aggressive inside and being aggressive with the basketball.
And on the other end, I remember last year here playing Thad Mott after the game from Ohio State, where Robbie hit all the threes in the first half. He kept saying, I got to get out of that 1-3-1. I got to get out of it. And then he never did. Finally, he did. And each one seems to have good success against Northwestern 1-3-1. What is it he does well against it?
Well, I just think it's really not Northwestern as much it is, each one, as a player. When he's ready to shoot, he's got his legs under him. I'm surprised when he misses. And today he had his legs under him. We were able to get him a couple looks early. I think any time with a big time scorer shooter like John Sherman or Etuan Moore, if you let them get going a little bit, there's not a whole lot you can do at times when they get some space. And after that, I thought they did a good job contesting his shot, and he stepped up and made some shots. But we were able to get in a rhythm. He got some early wins, and then it kind of snowballed from there.
Ryan Smith, you look at 13 points, but he plays 31 minutes with no turnovers, and did, I thought, a pretty good job defensively. He's starting to come a little bit more, isn't he?
Well, he came here and he had some limitations physically. He really worked to put himself in a good position, and now, he does a good job of following the scouting report. He is solid on defense, but when you don't turn the basketball over, you make your free throws. And he still was out on the court when he was 0 for 5 from 3. I made 2 huge threes to break the game open a little bit, and but he still would have stayed out there if he didn't miss those 2. Just because he's not turning it over, making his free throws, making the extra pass, and following the scouting report. And when you do those things, it's really going to help your team win.
Matt, how impressive is it scoring 82 points against a team like Northwestern?
I'm more upset they scored. 69. I think you're a little bit greedy sometimes as a coach, but it's impressive. We had some looks, I thought, tonight, from beyond the arc, that especially in the first half where we could have opened up the game a little bit. We had some opportunities at the basket, but we had good balance, and it's very difficult. You're almost holding your breath the whole time you play Northwestern, because they change defensively, offensively. It's such a grind. It's such a hard system to prepare for. But I thought our guys did a good job. It does take a little bit of time to adjust to them. I don't care how many times you play them. It's still an adjustment because they are so unique.
Matt, late in the first half, you guys were up 3, and then Kelsey got fouled, making free throws, and you get pretty good baskets from Jackson. Was there anything in that stretch that opened up some opportunities for your point guard?
Well, we mixed up a little bit how we did things. We hold a guy sometimes in the middle just to make sure they don't trap us, and there's always a guy there for you. The problem is with that, you don't have as many options when you hold a guy in the middle. And then we took the guy out of the middle, and then Lou was able to get in there. And when you get in that 1-3-1, if they stay out on shooters, you're going to have a layup at the basket, or you're going to get that last line of defense to help, and then somebody else is going to have a layup. And Lou did a good job of just being aggressive and getting in there, and they made enough shots where they stayed spread, and he made the right plays.
Coach, from a mental toughness standpoint, you know, there were several times in this game where Northwestern made runs. You guys answered even the Jackson baskets there.
Right.
Moore made a 3 in the second half when they cut it to 4. I think it was Smith with the 2 threes. Can you talk about the mental toughness and being able to bounce back each time they made a push?
Yeah, and they, you know, they countered, you know, how we were defending them. You know, they made a couple. We were giving those guys those shots up top, and their big guys made 3 threes. I think one of their big guys had 1 3 for the year, and the other one didn't have any. And they made 3 in the game, and so we really wanted to stop those back doors and help those guys with those back cuts and those back doors. But for our guys to kind of get back to where it was a 2-possession game, you know, at a couple different instances there in the second half, to step up and make shots were huge. Because anytime you get going now to that next possession, you know, you're back in a 1-possession game, and that's dangerous territory when you've led the whole, you know, second half to finally give that lead up. To now, can you mentally bounce back from that? But we got against the wall there with 2 possessions, and we're able to, you know, step up and make plays.
Now you talk about, you know, you remember every basket that the team makes,
right,
you know, defensively. Right. But if you could allow yourself to do this for me, you know, in your 8-game winning streak, with the exception maybe of the second half, that your defense has made, I think, some significant improvements. Could you just talk about what's worked in this? What have you been doing well defensively in this 8-game winning streak?
You know, well, we've tried to, you know, obviously you go from game to game, it's a different scouting report. We've tried to keep good pressure on the basketball. You know, we've tried to keep the ball out of the post and not let people get touches. We've done some different things in the post. We've stayed one-on-one, we've doubled, you know, we've done some different things. Today that wasn't, you know, the case for the scouting report. We wanted to stay, you know, with their shooters. I just think our guys have done a better job with their focus of following the scouting report and sticking with it. And, you know, you have to have trust, and you got to have trust in each other also, and you got to be able to work some things out and communicate and talk on the court. But I would just say, you know, that focus and understanding, because, you know, the system we went against today was what we struggled with against Richmond. But when it gets down to it, if you can remember 2 years ago, the last 10 minutes of our game here when Northwestern beat us, at their place. You think about the Princeton offense, the 1-3-1. When it came down to it, they played harder than us. They got more rebounds than us. They won the effort category. And tonight I thought we won the effort category, especially on the glass. And that's always been the difference in our matchups. You can talk about how we play or how they play, but it comes down to who's making the most 50-50 plays, and I think that's the difference.
Matt, can you talk about those hustle plays, especially Smith getting on the floor and then getting that 3 and out-rebounding them by 14? Just talk about the hustle today from everybody.
Well, I think in a lot of games, that's the difference. You know, it comes down, when you get 2 good teams, obviously one team shoots real well or one team shoots bad, you're going to get a difference there. But when it stays relatively the same or pretty close, it comes down to just trying to get extra possessions. And tonight for us, that was, you know, getting on the floor, getting some loose balls, getting long rebounds, and just giving, you know, when you have some more cracks at it, you're normally going to, you know, come away a winner.
One more question, Coach? All right, thank you.
Thanks.